of my biggest pet peeves is when I see young artists who don't charge enough for their time and effort. One thing you always have to remember is that art is a skill. You might take it for granted because you do it all the time, all your friends are artists, so you hang out with other artists, so you think it's totally normal, or you might think your work isn't good or valuable because you're new and learning. But you need to remember that you've put a lot of time and effort building this skill. Not everyone can do art. Not everyone has, put in the skill points. It's not even just, a talent thing. It could be they put all their skill points in cooking, or, I don't know, poetry or something. Whereas you put all your skill points in visual art. And you should expect to be paid for having such a skilled, specific set of knowledge. I can't go to one of the developers at my work and say, hey, program an app for me, but I'm only going to pay you $2. They'll laugh in my face. They'll think I'm rude because they've spent years and time and money on their skill that's very specific that not everyone can do. It would be rude to do that to, an engineering student because, again, they've spent all this time on this thing and they deserve to be compensated for their time. The time you've put into your art adds value, and by value, I mean money value, into your work. When you're selling your artwork, whether it's to a client, whether it's commissions, whether it's selling your comics or merchandise, make sure to account for your time and the cost of materials, of course. But yeah, your time, it's super valuable and super important. Make sure to account for it. When you're charging for commissions, I'll use commissions because it's a pretty easy example. It's usually my go-to when I talk about this. When you're charging for commissions, charge by your time. It's a really easy way to figure out how much to charge people. It can be different if you're doing, say, traditional artwork, but if you're doing digital, just account for your time. It'll make things a lot easier. And make sure to charge for your time instead of charging for, say, the type of drawing it is. The only time that should, change is if you have two coloring styles and they take the same amount of time, charge the same amount. Okay, so you're all right, I'll charge for my time. But how much do I charge for my time? Well, a good starting rate is $19 an hour. That is more than minimum wage because you're a skilled worker, and I just use that as an example because that's what I was paid for my first design job when I started as an intern. That is what they paid me as an intern who had no experience doing graphic design. So, you can be paid that much to do work as an artist or an illustrator where you've put all these hours into it already. What I charge now is about $30 an hour, so anything in that range or higher depending on your skill level or whatever it is, that's a good range to charge for people. It's industry standard. You'll make enough money to buy things and pay rent. It's just good to value your time and effort. And that way you'll know what to tell people when they ask you for a commission. If your rate is $30 an hour, and you know that this sketch or whatever is going to eat up 2 hours of time, you know to charge them $60. Super easy. That way you're not limited to, say, if someone gives you a really, really complicated drawing with a ton of characters, they're expecting you to only charge for what your full color charge is, so say that's $60 or something for your full color, and they give you something really complicated that you know is going to take 3 times as long, you can charge them for the amount of time. You can say this isn't actually going to cost 2 hours for me, this is actually going to cost 6 hours, so I'm going to charge you 6 hours times $30, whatever that is. It's a good way to gauge these things. But yeah, make sure to value your time. If you use low rates, you'll work yourself into the ground and you'll never make enough money to make a living. That sounds really harsh, but I'm just trying to look out for you guys because I want you to be able to value your work because you really should. And I get so sick of seeing young people who aren't charging enough and having to be that starving artist stereotype, which you don't have to be. You can make a living off your work. You just gotta be bold. Yeah. You can do it. It's fine to ask for money for your skilled work. And if you run into people who tell you that no one is going to buy your art because it's too expensive, don't listen to them. They don't know what they're talking about. They might not be an artist, or they might be insecure, or they don't believe in the value of art. I don't know. Just don't listen to them because they're silly. If someone looks at your prices and they go, I'm not going to pay that, well, who needs them? You can find better clients who will stick with you and enjoy your work and pay the rates you deserve. Don't feel pressured by other people. If you walked into a grocery store and you picked up a box of cookies and you were like, yeah, I only want to pay like half this price, they would tell you to leave. So be the same with your art, you know? You know. And on the other side of valuing your time, make sure to value break times as well. Give yourself downtime to recover between work. Again, this is just to stop burnout. Also, you need rest and break times. If you're working in an office, they give you vacation and stat holidays and all that good stuff. Give yourself the same stuff when you're an artist, because in order to make quality work, you need to be like rested and your brain needs to work because you've had enough sleep. So make sure to value that, okay? Okay, take breaks. Value your time. How many times am I going to say value your time? I don't know. A lot, because you should. Fido's barking. He hangs out with me while I do my recordings because he's a cute little dog. Also, he barks at our roommate because he's excited. So he's hanging out with me while she gets ready for work. So yeah. And my final point about valuing your time is to give yourself enough time to make your projects good. I've been super guilty of this in the past, where I make myself create comic pages at like a breakneck pace, where I totally burn out and exhaust myself, and I make really bad looking pages because I'm like, I'm gonna do 20 pages in 3 days, and it's like, no, you can't do that, that's physically impossible. Stop giving yourself unreasonable expectations that you're never gonna meet, because you're just gonna make yourself sad and really tired, and yeah, don't do it. So yeah, it's silly to expect yourself to do things faster than they're actually going to take, and it may take some time to figure out your actual pace for how long things take for you, but once you figured it out, honor that amount of time. Again, you'll burn yourself out if you push yourself way too hard, so take the time you need to make your art good. If you're juggling, say, like, other jobs or other work on top of your art, it's okay to take breaks. It's okay to take a little bit longer to put out that comic page. It'll get done. You're still a cool, great artist. Take care of yourself. All this boils down to valuing your time. You deserve time to do your work. You deserve to be paid for your time and your skill. You need to take time to rest as well. Your art will be so much better for it, and you will be saner for it, and way less stressed. So get out there, my friends, and value yourself, value your time, value your artwork. I believe in you. You're sweet. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. I think that's all I have for today. If you have any questions, or if you'd like to request a video topic, please leave a comment down below. And if you want to see more videos about art and making webcomics, don't forget to subscribe. And if you ever want to read any of my comics, check out our TikTok store. There's a link to it in the description down below. So yeah, thank you once again for listening. I believe in you guys. You're really cool and sweet. I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye!